Hey there, everyone, and welcome to this special bonus episode of Sadie Hawkins Pod. Bonus. You people are really getting your money's worth. Because it's free. Pod for free. That's should be our slogan. Pod for free.
Oh, that's good.
Although air for free, it really got the bum's rush on what we're about to talk about.
I'm so disappointed.
So we're not opening with a skit because it's a bonus episode.
Right?
But I figured we would cut to a song, and it's this one.
It's all the same with all the kids. No one knows what vinyl is.
Because we're talking today about the final selection on the All Work and No Playlist vinyl. Now, Sunday we recorded awesome 80s in love with the pink tux.
In love with the 80s.
In love with the 80s, pink tux to the prom. And when we recorded, it was the joke of the town how Relient K had said, a week before, voting is closed, results tomorrow, right? And in 6 days, I think 7 days pass, and there's still no results. Well, now the results came out the day before the podcast came out, because our podcast comes out on Wednesdays. So Jessica was like, what do we do? And I thought about maybe we cut in a thing at the beginning where I'm like, hey everyone, we recorded this before the Tracklist was released, so...
But we decided to forget about it and not slow down, and we just released the episode and decided bonus episode.
The only thing we did that changed the episode as you were about to hear it is that Jessica went in and cut out one line where she said, oh, I bet you In Love with the 80s isn't even going to be on the vinyl.
No, it was, I said at the time, based on the tweet that they had posted about, a week or so before then, they had posted what the front runners were, and it was not on that list, so.
Right. So, in the end, there were 20 songs, and initially they only wanted people to vote for 12 songs, but the final vinyl had 20 songs. So we cut out that one line from last week's podcast because that was the only one that absolutely was incorrect, right?
Because In
Love with the 80s made it. Here. So sort of just going back to how this whole thing transpired, right? Relient K comes out and they say, we're going to release this special sort of greatest hits, but the fans are going to pick the songs. And I assumed this, but a lot of people didn't, because eventually Relient K's official Twitter sort of explained this. It's like, hey, we're going to have as many songs as possible on the vinyl. 12 songs is just the number we want you to vote for, right?
Well, Deathbed counts for at least 3.
I know, Deathbed counts for 3 songs. But yeah, in the end, there are 20 songs on the vinyl. And
I was wondering if it took them so long to release the list because they wanted, they wanted to tweak it and make sure that they fine-tuned the sequencing perfectly.
Jessica's not happy with the sequence.
I'm not super stoked about the sequence.
So we didn't talk about this last week, but I think the 6-7 day delay, and I didn't see other people thinking this, but I think the reason it was delayed is because maybe they kind of jumped the gun saying, voting is closed, results tomorrow. Because maybe they were like, well, no, wait. We need to actually sequence the album based on the physical attributes of a vinyl. Because there's how much time on one side? What? I don't even know. 20 minutes on a side, or is even less?
I don't know.
Good question, Danny. You can't answer it. Are you looking it up?
I'm looking it up.
So, so they vote. So they have the thing. It's basically like a logistical, like a Tetris problem. It's like, sure, people have voted for these songs, and initially the Relient K official Twitter account, if it's Hoops or whoever, said, oh, we're going to put as many songs as possible on here. 12 is just the number we want you to vote for.
You're right, it's around 20 minutes.
Yeah, so 20 minutes per side. So sure, they have a whole list, and we didn't even see the actual full final Google sheet. They didn't share that with everybody.
Right.
So it's going to show all 100 and whatever it is, 60 songs or something.
Mm-hmm.
From most loved to bottom, right? And they're going to want to put as many songs on there as possible. But the actual deciding and jigsawing of these songs fit almost to 20 minutes. That's the problem, right? They want to actually get each side as full as possible. Because when you put Deathbed on one and then you maybe put a couple of songs, maybe that only equals out to 16 minutes, and you're wasting 4 minutes, but you only have like a 5-minute song left. You know what I mean? So it's like a jigsaw puzzle. So I think that's why. I think they jumped the gun saying, results tomorrow, and they realized, oh wait, we got to actually sequence this like it's a scientific thing to go through.
Although based on side A, I feel like they literally just took like the most popular, the second popular. Yeah, exactly.
So let's go through the list. It is side A, and remember it's a 2-disc set, 2-record set, so it's 4 sides. Side A, Sadie Hawkins Dance, Be My Escape, Who I Am Hates Who I've Been, and Deathbed is side A. Then there's on side B a lot more songs. There's Forget and Not Slow Down, Must Have Done Something Right, Pressin' On, I So Hate Consequences, High of 75, and Chapstick. Side C is Mood Rings, Savannah, In Love with the 80s, Getting Into You, Collapsible Lung, The Best Thing. And then side D is Candlelight, For the Moments I Feel Faint, The One I'm Waiting For, and what I think is the big surprise, right at the end of the whole track list, The Lining is Silver.
I love The Lining is Silver. I'm really excited about that.
But it's kind of a surprise that it would actually be on here. So yeah, let's discuss side A first.
Why? Why would you put Sadie Hawkins Dance and Deathbed on the same side? It's like, yeah, we're all pepped up and happy, and then it's just depressing.
Well, they kind of like, so it's almost like an emotional journey. Sure, you start with Sadie Hawkins Dance. It's the most happy song they have. And then from there you go to Be My Escape, which is a sort of a peppy number, but the lyrics are sort of sad. Yeah. And Who I Am Hates Who I've Been, and that's,
I'm just not thrilled about the flow of this.
I think it kind of tells a story from happiness to sort of like somberness to real depression. So, and just in case anyone, somehow this is your first episode, Jessica is not a big Deathbed fan in general because of the whole nature of the song, of the theme of the song. It kind of depresses her, and she doesn't really like to go on that whole journey.
So I go hard at Deathbed.
Yeah. Even though it's like one of their most popular songs.
I'm going to say it right here, right now. It's going to make me vastly unpopular. If Deathbed is your favorite Relient K song, you are not a Relient K fan.
Oh, no.
I'm saying it. Because it is literally not like any other song in their discography except maybe Runnin'. And that's it. Like, Deathbed and Runnin' are their own separate sound.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Jessica really doesn't like the song Deathbed.
And do we need to cut this out?
No. Here's the thing. Jessica has actually said those words 3 times before on the podcast, and we've always cut them out. So maybe because this is a bonus episode, we leave it in there. We're not... And you're not actually, like... you're not judging anyone for actually liking Deathbed, right? Like, you're like... No, it's like you're not trying to yuck their yum. It's just like... I agree, in a way... Deathbed is the least sort of Relient K song.
Yeah, it's one of those songs that then when you hear it, you're like, oh, this is completely different from
It's a big journey. It's a whole big journey. And it really stretched what Relient K could be at the time.
Yeah.
But it's just like the Death on the Sheets line is particularly upsetting. It's like so visceral.
Although I did say
that... And I like the song, but Jessica, at times has me understanding why it's difficult for her.
Although I did say, and I think Danny tweeted this like a really long time ago, that if this song was like only 4.5 minutes long and Lana Del Rey sang it, I'd probably love it.
I know.
Because there is something really... Is this our Deathbed discussion?
Yeah.
There is something...
Secret Deathbed episode.
There is something really poetic and beautiful about the I can smell the death on the sheets line, but it's not Relient K. It's not what I come to Relient K for. I come to Relient K to escape all that stuff.
You know those Not My President t-shirts? Yes. I want a picture of, I don't know how you do it, but a picture of a deathbed, and then it says Not My Relient K, and Jessica can go around wearing that. So side B, let's talk about the flow of this. Forget and Not Slow Down, Must Have Done Something Right, Pressin' On, I So Hate Consequences, High of 75, Chapstick. I feel like this, to you... has to be the most Relient K side of the album.
This is gold.
Right?
I love it.
This is like all classic Relient K songs. Mm-hmm. No like problems, no really depressing songs.
No.
Then on side C we have Mood Rings, Savannah, In Love with the 80s, Getting Into You, Collapsible Lung, and The Best Thing. Now, you have a problem with this side. You've talked about it with me.
Yeah.
But I would like to just impress upon you that I think this side is less of an issue than you think it is.
Right.
Sure, side B is like side B is like, if you know how like a lot of major labels, they release like, what are those things called, like high five or like top five? It's like basically like a CD single of like the 5 biggest tracks by a certain artist. If Relient, if like Capitol Records or somebody could release one of those sort of short compilations of Relient K, although some of these aren't Capitol Records songs, basically side B could be that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Side B could be that like $5 Walmart in the bin record.
You'd need Be My Escape on there, but yeah.
Yeah. So side C, it has Savannah, it has Collapsible Lung, but I think this is a classic Relient K short line.
Now shots fired from Dan, because you just claimed that Savannah isn't a classic Relient K song.
No. Mood Rings, In Love with the 80s, The Best Thing, Getting Into You are obviously like classic Relient K songs. Like nostalgic classic Relient K songs. Savannah and Collapsible Lung maybe start to get into like the later day, artistic, sort of things that deeper fans sort of like. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised that Collapsible Lung showed up on here. Not that like, just because I assumed that at least one song from each album would be on here, but it's not, because there's no Air for Free. Where is the Air for Free love? Because I would take literally any song off Air for Free over the song Collapsible Lung.
And that's a whole nother... In my mind, we have no structure for this episode, but in my mind, we're going to talk about Air for Free and Self-Titled after we finish going through the track list. So, okay. Something I've definitely been thinking about recently is, like, basically you have nostalgic classic Relient K, and that's pretty much everything up through Forget and Not Slow Down. And then with the last trilogy of records, that's sort of like the artistic, like, heightened Relient K.
Right.
Like, so many people obviously love Forget and Not Slow Down. I love Forget and Not Slow Down. But it basically took Relient K from sort of the, like, just sort of fun pop rock band that, like, your crappy little brother even likes, into this other artistic sort of stratosphere. Like, elevated what Relient K could be. And maybe Deathbed with Forget Not Slow Down was sort of the stepping stone into here comes the new...
5 score?
5 score, sorry. They both start with F, so I got confused.
Yeah.
Deathbed is sort of the stepping stone into... Like, it's kind of fitting, like that 5 score sort of ends what I feel like is the classic nostalgic early 2000s Relient K, and that Forget Not Slow Down becomes like the artistic, like... really solid, like almost above reproach Relient K artistically.
Although Bird and the B-Sides comes out in between there, which you have said you think is a
secret full-length album. That's a whole nother thing. I'm going to ignore that theory in here. So I feel like so here's the thing. Side B is like a perfect short set of classic Relient K songs. Like if you went to see Relient K at a big festival in like 2005, 2006, this would be a great 6-song set to see them play, right? Then side C is almost like, well, now we're wading out of the classic nostalgic Relient K into the artsy trilogy of the last 10 years of Relient K.
Right.
Into the Forget and Not Slow Down, Collapsible Lung, Air for Free. And I know Collapsible Lung is a debate on whether or not that really fits the artistic Relient K period. Just please put that aside and just notice how it's like a slight parfait of Mood Rings, Savannah, which in a lot of ways is sort of we'll talk about it next week, is sort of like their most artistically like stated song on Forget and Not Slow Down. In Love with the 80s, back to classic, fun, goofy Relient K. Getting Into You, which is sort of like that serious era, right? Then to Collapsible Lung, which is like one of the best songs off of that particular album. It's the only song on this collection from that album. And then back to The Best Thing, which is one of their biggest hits from classic era Relient K. So you see how we're kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a rhythm going with these sides.
I like it.
Part of the reason I picked Savannah is because both Jessica and I have always been like, what's the thing here? People love this song.
Right.
And I like it okay, but I'm done with the research for Savannah and we're not recording until tomorrow. I got it. Spoiler warning for the Savannah episode. I'm like, it took me a long time to get it, but after listening to the song, which I had never done, listening to it like literally all day, I'm like, oh, I get what's happening in this song. It never took me to the place the song is meant to take you, or the place that the song has taken so many other people. April. But now I get it. So, what am I saying? So it's kind of... So I kind of get it. I kind of get side C here. Because then, with side D, is like, now we have another... But it's a smaller parfait. It's only 4 songs. Yeah. Candlelight, For the Moments I Feel Faint, The Wonder I'm Waiting For, and The Lining is Silver. So it's like, yeah, we have one song off Forget Not Slow Down, and we have 3 more like classic era Relient K songs, but they're songs that I feel like out of the classic era are sort of elevated. Like they're not goofy songs, you know what I mean? For the Moments I Feel Faint, The One I'm Waiting For, and The Lining is Silver are not sort of goofy high concept songs, right? So I feel like, I don't know.
I think The Lining is Silver kind of is. Do you think there's a hidden message in this? Do you think it ends with The Lining is Silver because they're like, listen, maybe this isn't going to be your favorite record. Maybe this is all old material, but The Lining is Silver because you're getting new Relient K soon.
Yeah. A lot of people have been debating. I saw on the Reddit, some people were like, hey, does this mean they're done?
Right.
But no, I don't think so. Because they wouldn't even be entertaining the idea of a Forget Not Slow Down album tour. Like, people have been asking for an album tour for Forget Not Slow Down, and they've entertained it.
Right.
Like, sure, John Schneck and Ethan Luck have had comments about it, but they're not, like, actively in the band as far as we know at this point. But when the official account says, hey, maybe in the next 2 years, like, why would they say that if it wasn't possible?
Yeah.
They would just ignore that comment if they planned on actually breaking up from here. So that's the playlist. So basically, to sum up my thoughts on this, you have side A, which is the most popular songs, the 4 most popular songs. Side B is sort of like a classic first decade of Relient K festival set. And then the whole second record in the set is, like I said, like a parfait of classic goofy Relient K songs with artistically heightened last decade Relient K songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so I think some thought did go into this, Jessica.
So nothing off the first album or the last album.
No. And that is shocking. To be honest, that's shocking. Yeah. Like, I don't know what I would cut. I know what you would cut. We talked about it weeks ago. If Deathbed could just be like an extra 7-inch with the album, you could have fit 3 more songs on here. Yeah. You could have put like an Air for Free or 2 Air for Free and a self-titled, or 2 self-titles and an Air for Free, right?
My question is, what song do you pick? Because I know which songs I picked, but what song do you pick to best sum up like their most popular songs, or just what maybe the band likes most?
Now,
from the self-titled.
There's no transparency here. How do we know My Girlfriend wasn't in the top 5 picked songs? And this is like some sort of like For All the President's Men thing. Like, we're going to be the journalists that break this case open and discover that Relient K buried those results. And there's like no way. Like somewhere in a boardroom, the mats are sitting and there's no way My Girlfriend ends up on this playlist, on this final. But no Air for Free and no self-titled. And I was really, really surprised because, like I said, the only self-titled song I voted for was 17 Magazine. I think, and I voted for that because I actually personally have a lot of fun memories of when Jessica and I would listen to Relient K together when we were first just friends, right? But then to have No Air for Free, which is an amazing album.
Yeah, and it's just shocking. Like, not even Mountaintop?
Right. And I don't think of Relient K fans as a group that, discount new stuff. Like, there's so many bands that like new songs are hard.
I mean, a collapsible lung song made it on here.
Right.
So why not Air for Free?
Did the band decide we're going to, like, in the Jigsaw decision of putting songs in the list, did they decide to cut an Air for Free song or two because they're like, well, it's a new album and we want to get some classic songs on here?
I hope so, because I hope, Relient K fans, I hope that you voted for some Air for Free stuff, because I really like Air for Free, and if they do come out with another album, I would like to see an Air for Free part 2, like as far as genre goes.
Mm-hmm. A couple of comments that I've had from listeners on Instagram. Relient Pilot said, I'm low-key really upset when I go down local construction, Sahara and Curl Up and Die aren't there. Especially the first two. They are really special to me. So when I go down in local construction, Relient Pilot is particularly upset that those two didn't make it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's solid.
That's a good, I mean, those are all great songs. It's like, but there are so many songs.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe if we all got to vote for 20 instead of 12.
Yeah.
But then again, we all get to vote for 20. Maybe 20 wouldn't have made it. Maybe other songs would have gotten higher up on the list.
Yeah.
And then that would have confused the selection that they had to pick. Emily Dykstra _ on Instagram also said, so many faves on here. Sad nothing from Air for Free. And then a crying sad face emoji. Yeah. It's crazy.
It really is.
I don't know what else we can say about that. It is just kind of crazy. And so what I was saying was, Relient K fans, I think, are people who really embrace new material, right? Like, yeah. So it's kind of crazy. And there's so many other bands that come out with new material and people don't really pay attention. And you know, but for this to not have one single Air for Free song. Then Danger Gavin said, this is honestly epic. Sad 17 magazine didn't make it, though. Obviously, I feel the exact same way because that's what I voted for.
Yeah, I voted for 17 magazine as well.
And so I can kind of get how there might not be a self-titled song on here.
Yeah, same.
Because a lot of people start to discredit that album, right?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people came in so much further after that maybe that's just like a novelty album almost that people maybe don't revisit quite as often.
And having myself discovered Relient K when that was the newest album, the self-titled was the newest album, and then people who I knew and people in my church discovering them with Anatomy of Tongue-in-Cheek, and I was genuinely like angry at them. I'm like, I've been a fan since before you, like less than a year, right? But it's like, where were you when the first album came out?
Yeah.
Right?
That's how I feel about Star Wars.
Exactly. So for me, it's like, so I've already been through that thing of like resenting fans for being late to the game for me. So it's like, I can't, it's been 20 years now. I'd be a serious dick to be like, why didn't you get into them in 1999 before you were born? Or 2000, really. No, 99, right?
It came out in 2000.
2000, right. 2000 ADD. That's how I keep reminding myself. Yeah, and then, so just to read a couple people's tweets, Fam910, or Fam910, they're the alien face that follows us on Twitter.
Cool.
They're just the alien emoji.
Yep.
I didn't think a track list would give me chills, but it did.
Ooh.
I agree. I was really excited about this track list, mostly just seeing In Love with the 80s on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah. Like, I was so happy to see a couple really important songs that we voted for to be, like, we had two sort of top tier songs to be on there. So for our votes.
Right.
So that, you know, and there's thousands. We don't know how many people voted. Like there's thousands of people who want their songs on there and there's only 20 spots apparently. So it's like, everyone's going to be disappointed on something and happy about other things. Then we have Taryn Sherwood, who does not follow us, said, honestly, this is a fantastic lineup. Still wouldn't mind Skittles and combos snuck in at the end, though. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Nice.
That would be great. Again, really upset that Kids on the Street didn't make it. All the joke songs, Silly Shoes. It's like, come on, guys. That's what I was really looking for. Oh, and then, so yeah, a lot of people apparently didn't know about this or they didn't get a chance to pre-order the record until the track list was revealed, and that's when it seems like a lot of people went and pre-ordered it. Like, I pre-ordered it within hours of the voting being announced. I ordered 2 copies. Well, we actually ordered 3 copies. We had 2 orders, 2 t-shirts, 2 records, and the test pressing. But a lot of people apparently were waiting to they were playing the long con of waiting to see the track list because some people didn't order it in time. And particularly Aiden S. Grant, who's been following us since pretty early on. He said, I asked people sorry, Aiden, 1 second before I read your thing. Yesterday, or the day before, I asked, how do you pronounce SML XL vinyl?
Right.
How do you pronounce that out loud? And I was hoping, because I actually tagged the company itself, and they didn't give us an answer. I have half a mind to like call them and just hear them pick up the phone and say their names and say, where can I direct you? And then hang up and be like, that's how you pronounce it. Because in reply to that question, Tim Wilson said, I'm trying to turn this up.
Smolixel vinyl.
He said Smolixel vinyl. I'm like, okay, I mean, that's the easiest to say. It's just a matter of saying it out loud becomes a mouthful. Because some other people were like, it's SML XL vinyl, but that's so hard to say out loud. Right. So when I asked that, going back to Aiden S. Grant, his thing was, a better question, will there be more copies of the Greatest Picks vinyl? Because it's sold out already. I was waiting till payday, and now I'm devised that I missed out. I guess he meant deceived or upset.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it would just be like a pre-order thing. I just assumed that it was like you got the extra stuff with the pre-order and then they would have the album available afterwards.
There were 3 tiers of the pre-order. Just the album in the t-shirt, and the album t-shirt with the test pressing. So apparently people who didn't pre-order it might not be getting the album.
Oh no.
But I don't know if there'll be copies available. Maybe there will be copies available. I don't know if we know this yet. I didn't see an answer from anybody. Goatee did chime in at one point just about the fact that there's a Spotify playlist of the track list, like the official Goatee Records account said, hey, there's a Spotify thing for you guys to check out. But I don't know. We'll wait and see when it's released. Like, the artwork isn't even announced yet.
Yeah.
What if the artwork looks like garbage?
Yeah.
What if it just looks really bad?
That was like Danny. It was like we didn't know what the t-shirts designs were going to be, and then Danny sprung it on me what they were, and I was
it's just plain text with a check mark. Yeah.
I
was hoping for something a little bit more creative, but I'm still happy. Jessica's getting the I voted for High of 75, and I'm getting the I voted for Sadie Hawkins dance. So here's the thing: when it came to the t-shirt, if you guys missed it on the pre-order, there were only 3 shirts you could decide on. You could get a shirt that said, I voted for Mood Rings, I voted for High of 75, or I voted for Sadie Hawkins Dance. So when I jumped on the test pressing packet, I was like, well, I'm giving the shirt to Jessica. And at the time, I didn't know I'd place a second order. So I picked a small shirt, and I didn't see the option to pick the design you wanted. So luckily, it defaulted to High of 75, which is a song that Jessica likes. So that's what it said. I'm like, I could email Goatee Records and ask them for the Sadie Hawkins dance shirt instead. And she was like, no, it's all right. So when I went and placed the second order, I deliberately picked Sadie Hawkins dance because I'm like, well, that's what the show's named after.
Yeah.
But I was like, neither of us want to wear a Mood Ring shirt.
No.
Because also for me, aside, completely throwing away like what someday we'll talk about the problematic nature of that song, Mood Rings is a song that I've always just not really loved.
Oh.
We'll talk about it someday, but it's like, here's the thing.
It is a song I enjoy, despite its problematicness.
Message. Here's the thing. I'm a huge MXPX fan.
Really?
I run MXPX memes.
You do?
I never liked the song Responsibility. That's one of their biggest hits. I never liked it. I didn't like the stops. I didn't like the I didn't like that stuff. I get it now. It took actually running the memes page to be like, oh, I get responsibility now. I think everyone's entitled to that sort of thing. Like, even if you're a big fan, Jessica doesn't like Deathbed. I have never been a huge Mood Rings fan. I like the song itself. I like the tune. I don't know. It's not like a song like, oh, I want to listen to some Relient K. Throw on Mood Rings. What were we talking about? I didn't want the Mood Rings shirt.
I probably would have gone for the Sadie Hawkins dance shirt, but
I know. We would have.
It's nice that we each have a different one.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. So many confessions were given today. Luckily, this is a bonus episode, so I hope people aren't too mad.
There's some deathbed confessions.
Deathbed confessions, mood ring confessions. So yeah, we'll just be waiting for that artwork to be revealed and those packages to be sent out and get those t-shirts.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Next week, we are talking about Savannah.
This week, we're talking about Savannah.
This week, we're talking... Well, it's... Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's true.
This coming week that starts tomorrow, we're talking about Savannah as well as Baby and Oasis. And we will... I guess we'll check you out next time. Did you have anything else? Any parting thoughts on the playlist, the t-shirts, the vinyl, mood rings?
No. I was just going to say, hit us up on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at Sadie Hawkins Pod. Oh, we have a Facebook too.
Oh, right. We have the Facebook group. I've started a Facebook group, which I think is just facebook.com/Sadie Hawkins Pod. Really? I only set it up to do a Facebook ad, which seems to be pretty successful. It's way more. I did a Twitter ad and we got nothing from it. Dropped $50 on Twitter and literally got nothing for it. Maybe we have some listeners. If you heard about us from our Twitter ad, please let me know, because seemingly we didn't get a single like on the Twitter ad. I don't know that we got anybody listening, but we've got a big response from the Facebook ad. So what I learned is Facebook ads are the place to be. But yeah, join the Facebook group. I'm hoping maybe we'll have more discussion there and stuff like that. Right now, I just emulate Instagram and Twitter posts to the Facebook group. But like I said, I just created it to do the ad initially.
Yeah, so you can also email us at sadiehawkinspod@gmail.com, and you can leave us a voicemail.
402-95-SADIE. Let us know what you think of the vinyl track list. We'll play that next week. And let us know what you think of Savannah or the intro and outro from that song.
Yeah.
Yep. And we're not doing our outro music this week, so we just wasted...
like around 30 some minutes of your life.
Wow, this will be the only episode I think we ever have that's under 40 minutes.
Yeah.